Greetings, nobles and noble women. Welcome to the Trust Issue Cipher. As always, let's jump right into it. All right, now this video is going to consist of commentary. So if you don't want to hear me drone about our current situation, then this is your time of notice. Okay, there won't be much trust information per se. What I want to talk about today is where we are as a default community and describe some of the reasons we're in our current situation. Now, first and foremost, we've been put into an insane asylum. And I don't mean that figuratively. I mean that literally. From the people in front of the cameras, the people behind the cameras, and almost all of the people controlling the production, they're all out of their minds. Sane people have a very, very hard time functioning in an insane society. Insane societies are weapons for tyrants. It's very important to understand. This is one of the reasons for Jiddu Krishnamurti's famous quote, it is no measure of health to be well adjusted to a profoundly sick society. It's a very deep quote, and it's very applicable to today. Now, insane people can be thinkers and strategists, so let us not think because of the positions that they hold that they're normal, just because they hold that particular position. That's the inherent assumption most of the population makes. Sanity is hinged on the balance of intelligence, like everything else in life. Too little or too much is a problem. Too little intelligence or too much intelligence is a problem. One should be smart, but not too smart for your intelligence. Now, some people don't understand the difference between smart and intelligent, and I'll try to explain it in case there's a miscommunication. And also because the words are frequently used interchangeably. Smart is what you learn and how well you apply it. Intelligence is your ability to learn and how well you know your role and interaction with the environment. Now that sounds complex, but it's really not. And I think I can show you the great divide that can exist in intelligence between a simple plant and a supposedly intelligent human being. We've all seen melanated people, dark-skinned people using umbrellas in the sun, even though their skin is photovoltaic. Now, you don't have to get deep to understand the sun skin phenomenon because the intelligent mind can put together 2 and 2 and make 4. Melanin protects skin from harmful sun rays, and it does that universally. When you're in the sun, nature increases this protective organism, making your skin darker, thus more protected. Okay, that's a simple mathematic expression a child can understand. Plants bloom and follow the sun throughout the day, actually moving to receive the most sunlight. Okay, we've all heard of that, heliotropism. They do this because plants are intelligent life forms. When the sun goes down, they close and they return to a position to receive the sun when it comes up the next rising. Cold-blooded reptiles bask in the sun to stay alive and active. They know the sun is their life force. But you got people whose skin can have conversation with the sun, but they refuse to allow this communication. The sun speaks to your melanated skin, and your skin actually answers back by getting darker. So you can physically see this conversation happening, and this conversation is pleasant. The sun does not hate or burn your skin in an unpleasant conversation. Yet some people don't even know what plants know, and they walk around with the sun, or they walk around in the sun with an umbrella to keep the life forces of the sun off of their skin, which is madness. We all know the sun interacts with the body to produce hormone D3, not vitamin, one of the most important hormones in our bodies, very underrated. So why the umbrella? Now, these people may have college degrees, maybe Harvard graduates, science and tech majors, But that knowledge does not help their intelligence in this simple matter. Smart, but not intelligent. There is a lack of intelligence represented in our people's collective intelligence. Unfortunately, because although you have original people who know most, if not all of the things Europeans know, we don't own or control anything to any degree that brings us autonomy. So our knowledge, which is arguably the same as many other nations, is impotent in effect because we don't use it intelligently. That is, as we said earlier, how well you know your role in your environment and how well you respond to it. Now, we may say an individual making it on their own and achieving a degree of success as an individual is intelligence, and there may be an argument for that. But I counter with the fact that if we acted according to our needs as it pertains to this environment, we would act as a collective. So all individuals have a degree of success and power. When you act as a collective, you protect the individual. See, we can tell from our condition that a few wealthy Negroes have no effect on the larger group of original people because we are at the complete mercy of mercenaries masquerading as politicians and law enforcement. If we were a strong nation, outside nations could not hurt individuals with impunity because the group would bring consequences upon that outsider nation. So let me see if I can further put this in perspective. We don't see Asians, Amish, Mormons, Arabs, etc. being murdered in the streets today because they don't depend on individual achievements. Group power protects the individual of that group. No individual power can protect the group. We're hustling backwards. Each of us can name at least 10 black politicians, 10 millionaire movie stars, 10 music moguls, 5 black philosophers, and 5 millionaire preachers, and we still get pulled up on and cut down at the drop of a hat. But you probably can't name 10 Asian politicians, movie stars, or moguls all put together, equaling that same 50. Yet they're immune from the type of terror original people experience. Think about that. We have yet to elevate our collective intelligence level to the point of effectiveness. Now again, if you read the studies, intelligence level works like any other dynamic that requires a balance to exist. Too little intelligence is a problem. Too much can also be a problem. And the too much aspect is related to the environment present on this planet. Now, what do I mean by that? Someone can be highly intelligent in a peaceful, simple environment and thrive. Because remember, intelligence is also how well you sync with and respond to your environment. If you place that same highly intelligent being in chaos, they'll go crazier than someone who's not so perceptive. Think of the Bible verse in Ecclesiastes 1:18, where it says, "For in much wisdom is much grief, and he that increase in knowledge increase in sorrow." Why would the Bible say that? Why would it say the more you know, the sadder you'll be? Sad being the operative word, because being sad is a relative to depression, anxiety, confusion, because they all encompass loss, which is one of the only real emotions that we experience. And I reference the Bible as a code book rather than a divine or divinely inspired historical narrative. Okay, so don't get tripped up on that, please. But the point I'm stressing can be analogized like this. Those of us who see politicians who are corrupt, we're more affected when we see certain things being done. Social political games being played, pandering for votes with no intent to benefit the voters whatsoever. When we see this stuff, we tend to feel a certain way about it. But those who are clueless are not bothered by lying politicians who get on TV and announce the shutdown of businesses. These jackals are able to choke the life out of people with a smile on their face, saying things like, "We're all in this together." They kill through political economic warfare. But again, if your intelligence level is below the game plan of the vandals, you're not outraged by the audacity to destroy people with a smile. You really think they're trying to help keep people safe. You don't see the contradiction in being allowed to promote genocide on a group of people with absolutely no pushback from the same people telling you they want to quarantine everybody to save lives. If you're so concerned about saving lives, why are you allowing two billionaires to openly finance and promote a plan to destroy millions of lives through depopulation? Shouldn't you just let the virus do that? See, we don't have the power to raise these questions in a public forum because, again, not enough of us have been moving towards establishing our own media networks, and we're powerless and not forward thinking enough to get behind those who have sought this type of power. Bill Cosby attempted this, but Bill didn't know he needs the people behind him because he doesn't understand his environment. Again, the individual can't do shit. Conversely, we don't have the relationship with celebrities to be able to get behind them the way we should. I don't know when we're going to learn we can't rise without all classes of us moving as a confederacy. Plenty of smart, original people, but not enough collective intelligence among us. And too many Negroes who undermine the efforts of those of us fighting for intelligent establishment of institutional infrastructure. See, if we fail in this moment to gain power to determine our future, people are going to get tired of defending black men and ask, why are black men not taking matters into their own hands? Why are they not being smart and traveling together instead of this individual travel where we get pulled up on? Why are we not traveling together with the tools to defend ourselves? Why are they not banding together and proactively establishing local government policies to help highlight their efforts? If a city is under racial terror attack or siege, then instead of always packing the streets with signs about Black Lives Mattering, they should be packing City Hall with legislative proposals and demands to be allowed to carry weapons to protect themselves. This is going to show you how much your local government cares for you. If they show they don't, then you respond accordingly. Because if just 10 people storm City Hall demanding that they be allowed to assert their rights to protect themselves from any threat to their lives, even if the municipality ostensibly denies that right, then those people have established a record of complaint and address. And from that point, whatever steps you take, public notice was given to the officials of that municipality who are now liable for failing to act. I'm not saying that the protests are not effective. I'm just saying that's only part of the process. Another problem that's very rampant and underestimated, and its detriment to traitors, or rather to its detriment to our cause, is traitorous Negro lapdogs who work to enforce the will of the corrupt, and also the peacenik Negroes who tell us to stay in prayer. We don't understand our own human nature in simplest terms. Some people will say it's wrong to hate. That's ludicrous. Why did the Creator give you and everybody else on the planet that emotion if it's useless? Why is hate one of the most powerful emotions on the planet? And why is it so effective if it's not to be utilized amid the full range of emotional content? I'm surprised at how many people denounce a relevant part of their psyche, and half of them do it because they listen to the same people who hate them with an internal passion. Didn't David say in Psalms 139, verse 21, he hated men who hated the Lord? With a perfect hatred at that. Doesn't Ecclesiastes 3:8 say that there's a time to hate? Didn't God say he hated killers, liars, and those who sow discord among brethren in Proverbs 6:16? So what's this shit about not hating? The people who embrace hatred are the ones winning. Consider that. Hatred is not a blind rage against something. You could do business with people you hate. Some people hate the person they're sleeping with, but because of political dynamics, they perform as if all is well. But the hate keeps everything in its proper perspective, no matter how the show must go on. So we'll pick back up after the break, and we will return. If you learned from this video, help support the study and time to bring this knowledge to our community. It does take time and effort to be concise and as accurate as possible so that we can stay abreast of important health information and techniques. Please visit the site and follow these links.